I wanted to talk to you about something a bit different today, which is drums. As a Seidrkona, which means that my primary way of doing shamanic work is a runic practice of chanting, for many years I never had a drum. I didn't want a drum, and I found that the practice of chanting, either solo or as a group, to enter an altered state of consciousness worked so well for me that I had no desire for a drum. However, as my work hours increased and as I started doing more workshops, I found that using my voice through either talking through a reading or chanting through a healing back to back was too much. And so I was left needing a tool that at times could stand in for my voice. And I'm very lucky. I ended up with two. I have a planetary gong, which is Neptune, which I use for in-person shamanic healings. And I bought this beautiful little drum, which has served me incredibly well. In fact, you can even see on the beta here how well used and much loved it's been. And what I found was, particularly for group sessions, or if I had back-to-back healings, having a drum was really useful. But over the last couple of years, what I found is, if I'm doing a shamanic healing on Zoom, I tend to chant. If I'm doing a shamanic healing in person, I tend to use my gong. And then, oddly enough, if I am doing a group shamanic meditation, I tend to borrow one of my students' drums. She has two absolutely gorgeous drums, which she very often brings, and invariably I look at her drums and she says, yes, go on, and I use one of hers. So although I do love this, and it has the last 10 years of my life written in runes on it. It has magic spells, and it has my life woven into here. It's not meant to be pretty, it's not meant to be accurate, it's meant to be powerful, and it's done an amazing job, and I will keep it. But I realised I like using the drum, and to me part of shamanic work is going with it, working with what works. And I've been very blessed to use Kira's beautiful drums, and I felt that I too wanted a drum that suits the person I am now. My little drum has done me well. It was gifted to me by my ex-husband, which I'm going to admit is part of the reason as well why I decided to change. But I've just been keeping an eye. I just felt I had to play it. I've been keeping an eye on Etsy, on different local. I wanted it to be made in the UK. That was really important to me. I wanted it to be sourced from the UK. That was really important to me. I wanted to know the wood that was used. I want it to be, I know it is an animal hide, it is stag, but I wanted it also to be ethically sourced. And I wanted it to be made by one person. So I've just been browsing and keeping my eye open, and this, I'm just going to show you the backs. It's so beautiful. This is the one that I came up with. And a big part of the reason that I decided to buy a better drum is I'm not very good at doing work for myself. In fact, we should probably reframe that. I'm bloody useless. I am great at doing work for other people. I am appallingly bad at making the time to do work for myself. And chanting to connect for myself doesn't work as well. I don't have words why. I can't tell you why. It just doesn't. Whereas actually, if I am drumming, I really enjoy it. does create that altered state of consciousness. It is enjoyable, and it is a commitment to do more work for myself, which is really needed. So yeah, as a Seidrkona, as somebody who does work with chants as a primary shamanic tool, having a drum isn't as important as you might imagine. And in fact, when I go off to Denmark, or when I, to work there, I don't take a drum. I don't need one. I have always got my voice. That is the beauty of being trained to use my voice to create the altered state of consciousness. I don't need a drum. But it's a lovely tool to have. And what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be recording. There are some Lockside journeys, and there are some led meditations on my website that have been gathered together over the years. I'm in the process of trying to streamline my website, but I will be recording more journeys with both drums. I shall still be working with both drums and with voice. And I just wanted to introduce my beautiful new drum, and actually introduce my standing and story of my life drum, basically. I'm starting to share a little bit more about this side of my life. I've been very tarot fronted up till now. Tarot is still going to be there, but this is something else that I do.